Hey guys, sorry about the shadows. I know they're kind of bad. It is super cloudy here today, and so the sun will shine for like 2 seconds and then the wind blows and then it is like black outside, like it's about to pour, and then 2 seconds later it's sunny again. So I wanted to film this today because it's kind of my last chance to film before I leave to go out of town. And one video that people have been asking me about is archiving. I talk about my archive planner all the time, and the question that I get a lot is, why in the heck should I do it? What's the point? And I think that's a very valid question. And this year, my very first video was lessons I learned in 2018. And if you had a chance to watch that video, it's literally like, I don't know, I started filming again in January after taking about a year off. So it's probably 10 or 15 videos back maybe. And I was able to film a video that I thought was a very in-depth and helpful video, because I was able to physically show my journey, and you could see where things stopped working and you could see where the breakdown was. And I would never have been able to do that unless I had had those planners to look through. Do I keep every single planner I've ever done? No. I personally think that archiving is only good for maybe a year or two. There are some specific planners I've hung on to for the exact reason I just mentioned. If there were a significant change or something really different that I had not done before, or something that I really fell in love with, and even one that I really hated. And I really kept those, I think I said really about 10 times just now. I chose to keep those. We'll save the reallys for later. I chose to keep those because it gave me a way to kind of go through and get re-inspired, or to realize why something didn't work. So what I wanted to show you was how I archive my pages now, what the plan is, and how often I go through them and things like that. So I had a Happy Planner cover, and this is one of those luxe nice ones, and I used it for a notebook. And I was able to find on Amazon very cheaply some 2-inch metal discs. Give me just 1 second, I'm sorry, my kid's not. Hey guys, sorry about that, I am back. And I think I'd gotten as far as to tell you this was a cover that I had, and I thought the fact that it said Hello Life was very apropos for what I was doing. And then I got these discs off Amazon, and they are the 2-inch metal Happy Planner discs. Fairly sturdy. I haven't been using them for a super long time because I actually just got my hands on these not too long ago. But I think they're going to hold up well for my purposes. It's going to work. So my setup, I took an old Happy Planner. I had gotten a seasonal Happy Planner, and it was one of my favorites that I'd ever seen, and I was so excited when I found it at my local Hobby Lobby. I bought it even though I didn't use the Happy Planner, but I'm sure a lot of you not even Happy Planner girls will understand. And it had really beautiful different kinds of foil for not each month is foiled, but just really pretty, and it was very seasonal. And what I did is I kept the left side of this calendar that had the tab on it just to make it a tab. Obviously this isn't a planner for me anymore, and that's not what I'm using it for, so I kept those. And then what I've done is this year, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I switched to the Inkwell Press Disc Planner, and it's about the size of the Happy Planner, has the same amount of punches and all of that. So I put this together with the idea that I would have an archive. I personally feel you only need to archive for about a year, maybe a year and a half if you're learning a new system or you're trying out a bunch of different things, however that works for you. I know that I have found the layout that works for me. I'm a vertical weekly planner. I do like having the option of adding and subtracting pages, and I love having the option of daily when needed, and I love having the ability to rearrange my planner as I need it to be. So with that being said, a disc planner or an A5 planner are really my only options. So one of my other archive planners, which I think I showed in that video that I was talking about earlier, was an old kikki.K that I had. Pink is my favorite color. I had gotten my hands on one of the pink kikki.Ks with the gray interior. It's my absolute favorite. I got a Louis Vuitton for my 40th birthday, and of course that's now my favorite, that if I ever go back to an A5, I'm going to use that planner. So I used the kikki.K as my archive planner for my A5 pages. That's kind of what this became for me. So I did have, this was an 18-month planner. I took out the previous 6 months, which were like June or July through December, because I really don't think I need them. I did keep pages. I think I started using this system in October. I took a coil-free planner from Inkwell Press and was able to cut the spine off and use it. So all I do is at the end of a month, I take the pages, and so this is January, and I was using these stickers that I got from a shop that's no longer available. Sorry about that, but that's how it is. And you can see how I'm using it, what I did. If you notice anything, it's very similar to what I do now. I do the washi tape, I do the pencils, I do a lot of gold foil. I've really kind of found my groove with this planner, and I really am enjoying it. And the fact that if you were to look at my planner today and look at this one and not see a huge change means I'm complacent, I'm comfortable, and I still feel productive. So I think that that shows that this was a good fit for me and it's working. You'll see kits that I've used, some notes I keep. I don't keep all the notes. I really just look at what I look at it again. Is it beneficial in any way? If it is, I keep it. The other thing this allows me is I can see ways I use stickers in different ways, things that I did differently, different ways that I marked things, that kind of stuff. And to me, that's helpful. It gives me, you know, when I go back and I look at it again, I started numbering my weeks. I was keeping track of the football game. I was keeping track of meal planning. This is how I was doing chores originally. I wasn't using stickers. I was stamping. Adding washi in as a decorative element, different ways that I was using things. So for me, this is helpful. It's a reminder to go back and look and see what went wrong. I also can see in times that things weren't used. So for example, on this weekend, I didn't do anything. I did have a lot of to-do list, which is not normal for me. I tend to have a lot. But on this weekend, we had a parent meeting, I had a full day at church, I had a wrestling tournament, I had a run that day, and I had had a pretty full week. So I knew if I look back on this, I could say probably didn't have a lot of time to be in my planner that day. And that's okay. This is another thing that Jessica at Knockout Print Shop came out with, and she also came out with a vertical one. I love the vertical. This, not so much. It blocks too much of my spread. I didn't like it. I kept it to remind myself of that so that if I go back and look, or I think, oh, why didn't I buy that? And then I'm going to look and go, that's why I didn't buy it. I remember now. So it's kind of helpful. I don't think, hopefully there's not anything crazy personal in here. I started working on this and I haven't really done a good job with it. But I just filled out my April one, and I may talk about that. I just did my April in review, and I did not go over this because we're not quite to the end of April, but I may include that in my May video, so just be on the lookout. But I filled it out for the first time, and it's actually very cathartic and worth it to reflect at the end of the month. So this is an insert that I picked up from Jessica's shop, Knockout Print Shop. She has her own website. She still is on Etsy as well, but check out her website. She's got some really cool things that happen there. And then this is a way I created a YouTube tracker page. It didn't work, but I have a record of something that I did. I did it all in pencil, which is why it's not very dark, and I could go back and look at that again. Then I also kept church notes in the back. Any inserts that I used, I kept. Now I did not use these gratitude, and I tried to play with this one, and this is an expense tracker, but I've since decided that's not going to work. And then I did decide to keep my church notes at the end of the month. So I've done that. And I'm not going to flip through everything, but here's February. Here's my church notes. Here's some notes that I kept. Mainly because they were things I created for myself that I thought would be helpful to look back on. And I did my YouTube a different way this month. This did not work either. And if you've watched any of my newer videos, you've seen that. You know, I can go back through and see different ways I was tracking things, when my doodle box came, what happened here, that I had a meetup. Here's a notes page that was inserted because we went to a class that week on transcripts. That's what it was about. How to do transcripts when you homeschool. It was still stamping at this point, but I love my months. And this was the last time I used a book dart, which is kind of crazy. I loved having book darts. I also use these foil stickers from the Happy Planner to mark my weeks, and that quickly ends because once you got to 10 you couldn't do it anymore. It didn't work. Church notes, which I showed you, and then here is March, and a page that I designed, an insert that I designed. I fell off my tracker this month a little bit. There's still a lot marked, but I definitely stopped. I love using quote stickers from the Happy Planner sticker books. My monthly, I liked how this came out. This was my birthday month, and I love that it was blue. I know a lot of people have complained about that blue, but I love it. Yeah, and then I can just sort of see, this was a sticker that I tried. It was new that month. I love it. And then we had a spring break, and I used a kit from Coffee Monster Co. And then my church notes actually are pulled and in my cabinet, but I haven't filed them in here yet. And then the rest of the month is simply the dividers. There's nothing else in there. I do keep this, and I think it's a page marker, and I use that just so I can flip. I know that April's the next month that I need to put in here. This allows me to flip to April, put the pages in, and be done. It's a quick and easy process. And then I just move it back to May when that happens. And then at the back here, I have a tabbed sheet that I added that said good things are going to happen. And this is where I keep all of my school for the year. So these are all of my pages I used at CC. I have my fall schedule, and then when you go to week 15, I don't know. I should have a second one in here. Where is that? Fall, did some stamping at the beginning. There it is. And then there's my winter semester. So I keep those in there. I will keep those probably until fall of this year when we start CC back up again. Mainly so I really loved how this turned out. And this evolved, like this is how I started, and then it quickly evolved to something a little simpler. And my plan will be that this probably will evolve even more over the next little bit of time, as next year is going to be a big change as I'm going back into the director role. So I wanted to have things a little bit different. So this is why I do it. And then I do have a pocket at the back. I don't have anything in it right now, but the goal for that's just if, I have loose papers or anything that I want. And I think because it is such a big disc, it is a little bit difficult to maneuver. Things stick and all that kind of stuff. But I feel that as the book fills up, that will get better. And it's really not that important. I use this for reference. I'm not using this to quickly get in. And it was something I was able to put together based on things that I have. So I hope this is helpful. I wanted to show you what I do to archive, why I do it. The goal will be that at the end of 2019, I will have the whole thing, and I think it'll fit. I don't know. I'm gonna hang on to my school pages, which are back here, and I think that I'm gonna do something different with my church notes. So those may not stay in here. I may just strictly do the monthly and any notes that I find relevant to make it be a book that can last. But as you see, when it shuts, it's pretty tiny and on the rings, and I think I'll have enough room. I really hope I do. But the reason that I do it, again, is that I can look back over things. You'd be amazed at what you forget and what you go back and do a couple of times before you realize, hey, this doesn't work and I really don't like it. And I think that once every few months, I sit down and I'll look through this. I don't do it super often. It's not like it's something I do on a weekly basis, but it is something that I do, and I find it incredibly helpful. And I'm hoping that by doing that each year, I would like to start, like when I do 2020, I want to, my first video of the new year to be lessons I learned in this year. What did I learn about myself? And the only way I think I can do that is if I keep some sort of record. And then my goal in January will be to clean this out and start over. As long as I'm using a disc planner, this will be my way of archiving. If you use an Erin Condren, I've seen what a lot of people have done. I know some people that keep all their planners, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I thought was really cool is the new marquee covers. I think I've seen a couple people now that have gone back and purchased the marquee covers with the year on the front of it, and that's it. And they wait for like an Erin Condren sale, and they purchase those and they put them on their archived planners. I think that's brilliant. If you're using an A5, having an older A5, a notebook or binder that you don't use that much, I think the Kiki Ks are really great because the rings are huge, and I feel like it's got a lot of give that you can easily put a chunk of things in there. And I think to keep it for a year and to be able to look back on things, and also there's always those things that happen. And I use an iPhone, for example, and about I think it's every 2 or 3 months, it goes back and takes out any appointments that are not repetitive. So all of my family's birthdays, things that I set for, trash reminders, it's every Monday for the foreseeable future till I move. It's, mortgage payments and paydays and things like that for our family are fairly standard. So I set those up. Well, if somebody needs to know, well, when was the last time you went to have this lab work done? Or when did you last see the doctor? Or who was the doctor you saw on your last visit? We go to a fairly large practice. This allows me that option. At least for this year. I rarely, have been asked for something further back than that. I keep fairly tight medical records for myself and my kids. I find if I don't, things get lost in the shuffle very quickly. So that's something that's beneficial. Being able to look back over my lesson plans as I'm doing summer school and prepping for the fall in our homeschool, I can go back and look at the pages and go, okay, what worked about this? What didn't work? What do I want to change? What do I want to keep the same? And if I didn't hang on to those pages, I wouldn't be able to do that. Do I need to hang on to them forever? No. I will probably get rid of the homeschool pages at the end of the summer because I will be starting a new school year. But I have them. If I look through them and I feel, oh, that's something I really should hang on to, then I'll binder clip them and put them on a shelf or in a file cabinet. I'll come up with a place. But the purpose of an archive planner, I feel, is something that you should be currently using, currently able to flip back in, or be kept for a specific reason. I'm very big on simplicity. I've been working really hard to make my life a little simpler, and I don't, again, these are all my opinions, just me. I don't feel that I need every single planner that I've ever had. I kept one that did not work. I kept one that worked well, and I use those to remind me of why, and I don't foresee that I'll keep continuing forward. So this is my archive planner. That is why I do it. My battery is starting to blink, so that's telling me to wrap it up. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or anything I can help you with, please let me know. I found all of these items on Amazon except for the Happy Planner. It was from 2018. So I know that they don't have it anymore, but it was just a seasonal planner that I absolutely fell in love with and happened to find, and I love the tabs, so I kept them. I hope this is helpful. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.